Hello everyone, this is Emo, and today we will be discussing why I didn't like Gear 5 versus Luffy. Or rather, should I word it this way, why I preferred Luffy versus Kaido before Gear 5. And before continuing on with the video, I just wanted to state that this is my opinion, and you could agree and disagree, so don't take it as this offends you personally. And I don't necessarily dislike Gear 5 versus Luffy or Gear 5's powers or Luffy's new abilities. I just preferred Luffy versus Kaido before Gear 5 way more in my opinion than after. And part of this may be because it's a bit too goofy in my opinion. Like on a reread, I think it's a bit too goofy for my opinion. It's like, I know a lot of people will say, oh bro, you're reading One Piece. One Piece is a goofy pirate manga, which is true, but this type of goofiness is not similar to One Piece type of goofiness. Like this goofiness, yeah, I get why it's called the most ridiculous power in the world. Yeah, but I don't prefer it in my opinion. Like I would have preferred that if it would have been more serious of a fight. Like before Gear 5, Luffy and Kaido were also smiling at each other, and Luffy was mostly smiling the whole way. And there were also goofiness in the fight, even at the beginning of a roof piece when the three captains didn't flinch at Big Mom's fire. That was something goofy. One of Kaido's drunk forms is very goofy, where he is a flirty drunk. That's the type of goofiness that I was expecting. But this goofiness, it feels out of the One Piece world. That's my opinion, of course, but that's how I feel about this goofiness. The second thing why I disliked the Gear 5 fight was because in the whole fight of Gear 5 versus Kaido, Luffy only landed 3 or 4 hits on Kaido, and I'm not counting the parts where Luffy skipped the rope with Kaido, or when at the beginning of the chapter 1044, at the beginning of the fight where he was slamming him right and left, because I don't necessarily think these attacks did any damage to Kaido. Then after this, from 1045 to after, Luffy only landed 3 or 4 hits, and one of them is including the Luffy's island size attack. And you could also count in 1044 when Luffy countered Kaido's borrow breath and it bounced back on him. So it could be 4 or 5 attacks. As One Piece fights usually, or Luffy's fight, when usually at the beginning of the fight the villain has an advantage on Luffy, then Luffy begins to take the lead in the fight throughout the fight. And you could look at a reference at most fights except maybe Luffy versus Lucci. As Luffy versus Lucci, it was the most even fight in One Piece, and I felt that Luffy versus Kaido was very even from the time that Luffy started using advanced conquerors. Although Luffy got knocked out of Onigashima after, but when he came back, the first thing he did, split the skies with Kaido. So he was splitting the skies, conquerors haki clashing hit for hit with Kaido throughout the whole fight. However, when you compare it to Gear 5, Kaido was battering Luffy left, right and center throughout the whole fight. Like you could feel that Gear 5 was somewhat of a disadvantage. Like Luffy came up with two of the most iconic scenes in the whole fight. The first one is Luffy becoming a giant, and when Luffy became a giant, you could say, yeah, the fight's starting to get intense. Yes, we're actually going to start fighting. Then he starts skipping ropes. Then Kaido borrow breathes him. Then he runs, tries to attack Kaido. Kaido batters him again. The second most iconic scene in the fight was Luffy holding lightning. And this is what was one of the most epic scenes ever. And you would think that Luffy holding lightning would be a really powerful attack from Luffy. However, Kaido dodged, then continued to batter Luffy left, right and center. And the whole fight is like this, Luffy getting attacked over and over and over and over again. So I didn't feel that when Luffy turned into Gear 5, unlike Gear 4 Boundman versus Doflamingo, unlike Gear 2 versus Bluno, unlike Gear 3 versus Lucci, unlike Snake Man versus Katakuri, unlike Tank Man versus Cracker, when Luffy each got a power up, you could feel him taking control of the fight. You could feel that he has elevated higher than the villain, or higher than the villain by a bit. But here I felt as if Luffy was already head to head with Kaido. He was one punch for another punch. However, after Gear 5, he was just taking hits. He wasn't giving any hits back. That's why I didn't enjoy the fight as much as I wanted to enjoy it. I felt like it could be goofy. I wouldn't mind it, but if Luffy could have had a hit for hit with Kaido. And to be honest, one of the reasons that I am not satisfied with Kaido's defeat isn't because Kaido was defeated easily or anything. It's because I didn't feel like Luffy earned this victory, as like I just said, when he turned into Gear 5, he was getting battered and he only landed 3 hits. And you could say, yeah, well, he only needed 3 hits and one of the hits was an island-sized attack. Well, true, yes, but before Luffy and Kaido were even, there were one punch to another. And even when the fight was about to end, and Kaido, when the CP0 interfered, they were also one punch to another. They were even, which was Gear 4 Snake Man and Bounce Man versus hybrid forms of Kaido. They were very even. So while in Gear 5, clearly Kaido was dominating the whole fight versus Gear 5. Clearly he was dominating it by a mile, and Luffy only landed 3 or 4 attacks. So that's why I am not satisfied with Luffy's victory over Kaido, in my opinion. So if you enjoyed my thoughts on why I didn't enjoy Luffy versus Kaido, you can leave a comment down below stating your opinion. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as it really helps me out a lot. This is Emo, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.